let's just go a bit further. Do y'all know who Demetrius Andrade is? I'm just asking. Whoever know who Demetrius Andrade is, go ahead and buy a badge. I'm just buy a badge even though. But this is what I will say. Demetrius Andrade signed with Matchroom 2019-18-ish, right? Canelo had a few belts at 160. He could have been undisputed. Could have fought for the undisputed title against Demetrius Andrade for the last belt back in 2018, 2019. But for some reason, Canelo went to 168. And then 175, right? And I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, dang, Canelo just hopping around. But I cannot believe. Go ahead and buy your badge because I'm about to get deep. I can't believe this. I couldn't believe that Canelo said that Demetrius Andrade was a horrible fighter. Got the game fucked up. Completely. Out of line. Demetrius Andrade is not no terrible fighter. He's an American Olympian. Okay? He had to fight to get out of his contract with Rock Nation. This dude has fought some awkward, tall, strong fighters ever since he's been with Matchroom. And he's come out on top. Now, age is a factor with everybody. But he has always called out Canelo. And this is not nice to Canelo because to me, he is a king. Okay? He is a king. That dude got so much power. But for anybody on here saying that Demetrius Andrade is a bum, you don't fucking know boxing. You don't know boxing. No. Demetrius Andrade is not a bad fighter. He's not trash. Y'all are uninformed. I've been seeing this video floating around that's showing like a little he was throwing some wild punches against a fighter he was fighting against, this big tall guy I remember. And people talking about this the guy you're talking about, this the guy you're talking about. And it's like, ain't nobody doubting Canelo, but there's fighters out there who will actually fight him and give him a good money. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. Demetrius Andrade is slicker than Billy Joe Saunders. Demetrius Andrade is stronger than Billy Joe Saunders. And if Billy Joe Saunders and Demetrius Andrade would have fought, Demetrius Andrade would have won. He would have won. Yeah. So, stop the bullshit. Canelo is not overrated. Listen, he's a hell of a fighter. No, he is not overrated. He's a hell of a fighter. But for anybody to say that he don't pick his opponents wisely and that he skipped the undisputed championship at 160 to go fight at 168, that's not okay. And, Eddie Hearn is Demetrius Andrade's promoter. Why he gonna sit up there and just kind of sit there as Canelo say Demetrius Andrade is a horrible fighter? Well, guess what? This is what I got to say. If Demetrius Andrade is such a horrible fighter, Canelo, fight him. Shut him up. Make him be quiet. Hey, little girl. That's it. Buy a badge. But listen here. People saying it's not a money fight. Stop it. It's a high risk, low reward. Canelo say he's a terrible fighter. Go ahead and beat him and solidify your greatness. What are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? Stop the cap. Haven't fought anybody. Listen, for Canelo to say that Demetrius Andrade is a terrible fighter, hell, I would have said this. Listen, I got to say something back. So, I'm not mad about what he said, about what Demetrius Andrade said back. I'm kind of like, I think Demetrius Andrade had a good approach. Whoever he was with, I think it was his dad or maybe his brother, they messed it up for him. They just came in there talking too much and too hype. Should have let Demetrius Andrade have the floor because Canelo was getting ready to answer his question. And I think what Demetrius Andrade was going to say back, since you said, he said, you haven't fought nobody, and you're a horrible fighter. Demetrius Andrade, his response was going to be this. Okay, since you saying that I haven't fought nobody, I want to fight somebody. I want to fight you. I want to fight you. And that would have been it. And Canelo could keep saying whatever he want to say, but at least people, at least the fans, by a bad job, at least the fans in the world can see that this is the effort that Demetrius Andrade is taking to get this fight. He's coming to a press conference, huh? He's coming to a press conference to press the issue. He can no longer rely on his promoter, because his promoter one time was in a video saying that he's the only one that can give Demetrius, who can give Canelo a good fight. And now he's basically ignoring the fact that Demetrius Andrade even exists, and just on this whole undisputed train to make Canelo undisputed at 168. And it's like he skipped the whole weight class. So listen, all my respect to Canelo, but I'm not finna sit here and let nobody say that Demetrius Andrade is a terrible fighter. And I watched this man spar. I've been to this man fights. He ain't no terrible fighter. No, he not. He's a great fighter. And there's a lot of guys who don't want to get in the ring with him.